Hey, what's going on guys? RVZ Stealth here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion on the best supports for Preseason 5 patch 4.21. So first up on my list I have BRAUM, and I just want to let you guys know that the number 5 spot could have easily been one of the honorable mentions. It was really hard for me to decide who to put at the number 5 spot, so any of the honorable mentions deserve this spot as well, but for the sake of the video, since I'm doing it in a top 5 format, I have BRAUM at my number 5 spot because he's just been a really solid pick for me overall. His passive is really strong. If you can land your passive on multiple targets in teamfights, then you're going to be getting that stun off for 1.75 seconds, I'm pretty sure it is, and that's just a long time for something that you can get off on every single champion. It's just really strong, and it's a really strong part of his kit. He's also got really strong peel with his ultimate and his slow on his Q, and he's got great CC as well. He's also pretty tanky, and if you're looking for a tanky support, then I would definitely recommend BRAUM. His E is also very strong, and the BRAUM Lucian lane is really strong as well. If you haven't tried that lane out, then because of the double shot that Lucian has, it's really strong to proc BRAUM's passive. So cons to BRAUM he is pretty skill shot reliant with his Q, so if you're not able to land your Q, then you won't be getting those stuns off as much in teamfights, and he also doesn't have any sustain. Next up on my list I have SONA. So pros to SONA she's got great utility. Pretty much all of her abilities have some sort of utility in them. She's got great sustain with her W. She has a speed boost on her E. On her W as well, she's got a mini exhaust, so when you use your W and you use the power chord part of it, if you auto attack the enemy, then it will reduce their damage by 20%, I'm pretty sure. She's also got strong Spell Thief's synergy, because she can proc that with her Q a lot, and she's got a game-changing ultimate as well. If you can land her ultimate on multiple targets in teamfights, then it's just so strong, and you're going to be able to carry games if you can do that. And she's also got pretty good poke in lane, like I said, with her Q. Cons to SONA she is pretty squishy, so you have to be careful in the early game, and she's also pretty mana hungry. I forgot to put that one down, but if you are spamming your heal quite a bit, it costs a lot of mana, so you will run out of mana pretty quickly, and I would recommend picking up some mana pots or even building a tier on SONA. So next up on my list I have NAMI, and NAMI in my opinion is just a little bit stronger than SONA. It was really hard for me to decide which of these champions should go ahead of one another, but I do have NAMI at the number 3 spot, but SONA could have easily been here. Pros to NAMI she's got great sustain with her W, and she's got strong CC as well with her ultimate and her Q, and as well as that auto attack buff that she's got, which also slows enemies when you auto attack them. She's also got really strong Spell Thief synergy, and she's got great disengage as well, probably one of the best disengage abilities in the game with her ultimate. And her passive is also really strong because it gives her champions a speed boost whenever she uses an ability on them. Cons to NAMI she is pretty skill shot reliant, and if you can't land your Q, then you're missing out on a lot of her kit, and like SONA, she is pretty squishy as well. Next up on my list I have JANNA. So pros to JANNA she's got insane peel and disengage. In my opinion, she's the best champion for this in the game, and that's why she counters a lot of the engaged champions like Kha'Zix, and she counters Warwick really hard as well. So if you're looking for a champion to counter Warwick, then JANNA is your pick because her ultimate just counters him so hard. She's also got very strong CC with her ultimate, her Q, and her W, and she's got an auto attack buff and a shield in one ability, which is just so strong. And her ultimate, like I said, it's one of the best ultimates for a support. Cons to JANNA though she does have weak engage, and she doesn't really have any sustain as well. If she had some sort of engage, then she would definitely be number 1 on my list, but because she's lacking that, she's at my number 2 spot. So number 1 on my list for Preseason 5 patch 4.21 is MORGANA. So pros to MORGANA her black shield is really strong. It basically means that she counters pretty much every CC support in the game, and whoever the support on the enemy team is using their CC on, she can just use her black shield and completely negate all of that CC. She's also got crazy pick potential with her Q, and this makes her a strong pick even if her team falls behind. If you can land that Q on a high priority target come late game, or if you can just find a pick on a high priority target, then you're going to be able to carry games as Morgana. She's also got really strong spell thief synergy with her W, and her binding lasts for days. She's also got strong engage and disengage with her Q and her ultimate, and like I said, she's strong even if behind. Constant Morgana, or she doesn't have any sustain, but other than that, her kit is just so strong, and I do think she deserves the #1 spot. So honorable mentions for this patch include Thresh, Leona, and Blitzcrank, and like I said at the start of the video, these champions could have been at the #5 spot, but it was hard for me to decide. So Thresh is a strong pick because he's got so much CC. His W is one of the strongest non-ultimate abilities in the game because it can just save your teammates in so many situations. But since he is pretty skill shot reliant, if you can't land your Q, then he's not worth picking up. But if you are good at landing skill shots and you can land your Q on Thresh, if you can land one of those on a high priority target in team fights, then he's going to be a really strong pick for you. Leona, the reason why she's not on my list is because if you fall behind as Leona, she's pretty weak because she is an all-in champion and you want to be constantly engaging as Leona, and if you fall behind, you really can't do that. And Blitzcrank is also a pretty strong pick, but like Thresh, he's skill shot reliant, and if you can't land your hook, or if you fall behind as Blitzcrank, then he's pretty weak as well, because obviously if you fall behind, you're not gonna want to be hooking an enemy into your team, because then they're just going to end up fighting you and you're probably gonna lose that fight. But other than that, guys, that was the top 5 supports for Preseason 5 patch 4.21. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, then be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're wondering why I didn't include a certain support on my list, then be sure to comment below asking me why, and I'll get back to you on that shortly. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.